hear me now? We good? We good? Are we good? Are we good? Alright, hopefully we're good. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know, Silver. Let me know. Gotta text the other fools that I'm live on YouTube. Let's see. Boom. Hey! Juice was faulty. I wasn't there last night. Hey, what up, George? What up? Vinny. Juice was salty. Nah, man. I wasn't salty. I was just like, damn, ditching us. I thought it was bros before hoes, man. What happened? But yeah. What up, George? What up, man? How you doing? What up, Silver? How you been, man? How you been? Alright, I'm like adjusting the mic. How's it going? Trying to see where everybody else is at. Saturday night. Everybody's chilling. Still testing out if these things are better at night or if they're, what do you think about that Maladorian trailer? Okay, so it was funny because like I had this bad habit, right? So some people have been like, yo, Juice, you should just do a reaction channel. Because, so like on YouTube, a lot of people say that one of the best things you can do, like, yeah, like really awesome videos are cool, but it's always nice to have like a channel that is very just like simple. Like you turn on a camera, you do something, you put out a video, because that's kind of what the YouTube algorithm wants. So everybody's like, dude, just do a reaction video. You have good reactions, blah, blah, just do a reaction video. I was like, I've always been against it. So I was going to do it. I was going to start doing one. And it was funny because I totally watched both of those trailers. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I was like, shit, I could have just made 2 videos right there. But I thought it was just very interesting. But the Maladorian looks pretty badass, man. Looks pretty legit. I also saw the Lady and the Tramp one. That one looks pretty cool. What up, Rizzo? What up, GZ? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. What up, Matt? How you doing? Liam, what is up? But yeah, no. The Disney Plus stuff looks really interesting. They announced a lot of other Marvel stuff too, which is pretty crazy. Would be awesome, Juice. Yeah, I'm really thinking about it. If you're subscribed to the Juicy Games channel, you'll notice the name changed to Juice Reacts. So I'm more than likely just, instead of creating a whole new channel, I'm gonna convert an old channel to be the new one. Maladorian, not whatever you said. Mandalorian, whatever. Vinny, why you always come in here talking crap, man? Your GTA reactions are priceless. Thanks, man. GTA is awesome. I mean, not when Vinny plays, but every other time. It's pretty awesome. Are you going to be watching AEW? Yeah, I'll be watching AEW. Probably not going to be watching weekly, unless hopefully they have highlights like on AEW YouTube or something, because I can't even watch like WWE. I just watch highlights. It's hard for me to keep up with everything. Blah blah blah. Okay, are you going to be watching? Oh, yeah, I already said that. But yeah, no, man, it's gonna be really interesting. So we'll see. We're gearing up for another wrestling wars. You know, it's gonna be Wednesday Night Wars, which is gonna be crazy. Which used to be, you know, the Monday Night Wars. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's gonna be pretty dope. I can't wait to see what happens. How's everybody's day going? What did everybody do today? I had my fantasy football draft today. I don't know if a lot of you guys are sports fans, but I had my fantasy football draft. First pick overall, Patrick Mahomes. My league, if you're curious on why would you go quarterback first, that's stupid. Our league is quarterback heavy. Like, it's 1 point for every 10 yards. So quarterbacks score a crap load of points. So I got the best one. I really like the podcast. Thanks. I really appreciate it, man. I'm glad you listened to it. I appreciate anybody that went and downloaded the podcast. As you can see right here next to me, Batman News Weekly Podcast can be found on Spotify or Anchor. Like I said, Anchor is a really cool thing. It's not a sponsor anyways. I specifically put that in the video. But I like shouting out companies or apps or something that make things easier or better for creators. And if you guys have never tried to upload a podcast before or do a podcast, it's not necessarily easy because you need somebody to host your podcast. It's not like YouTube, like where you can just upload a video and it's just there. YouTube's doing the hosting for you. When it comes to podcasts, you have to find places to host it for you, like SoundCloud or whatever. But not too many people go to SoundCloud to listen to podcasts and stuff. You know what I mean? So Anchor is this app, and I believe was bought out by Spotify or vice versa. I'm not too sure, but they partnered up together. So you have this podcast place now that's just allowing you to post music or allowing you to post podcasts without having to pay for an RSS feed, which is what you needed prior. So all my friends that I knew that would, host podcasts were always like, yeah, man, you got to pay for one of these. It's like $20 a month or whatever. You had to pay per usage. So if you were like trying to put a podcast out a day, you have to pay for all of the hosting that you're doing. So it's cool to have something like Anchor where they're just, it's kind of like YouTube. You literally just upload your podcast, put out a thumbnail, and boom, it's done. And I was like, that's awesome. So not a sponsored deal at all, but if you guys want to go use Anchor, download the podcast, I'd really appreciate it. It also shows me how many times it's been played and stuff using that app. But if you already have Spotify, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify. You'll just have to click on other podcast. It should pop up when you type in Batman News Weekly, and you'll see it right there. The logo looks exactly like that. Let's see. You watch New Japan. So I will watch New Japan. I will say that I've fallen off from New Japan. The reason why I haven't watched New Japan in so long is because they lost Kenny Omega. And I was following New Japan because of Kenny Omega and the Bullet Club. And when they all dipped out, I was kind of like, I'll still keep up with it, but I'm not going to be hardcore keeping up with it. And I wasn't really hardcore keeping up with it before, but I was like, oh, Kenny Omega had a match, I'd watch it. And oh, the Young Bucks had a match, I'd watch it. But now I'm just kind of, they all went to AEW, so I'm kind of, there's so much wrestling out there, it's hard to keep up with it. Let's see. I really like the podcast. You didn't take luck then, huh? Yo, man. Okay, so the guy that won our championship last year drafted Andrew Luck, and I'm playing him week 1, and so now he doesn't have Andrew Luck. And it was crazy, too, because my league is legit. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever joined a fantasy football league. I've been in this fantasy football league. I know a lot of people, again, don't care about sports. I think it is a fun experience, though. But I've been in this league for like 14 years. It's been insane. And what happened was we like actually meet in person. We meet in person. Everybody brings food. We have this big party, and we freaking draft our teams. And it's a cool experience. It's what I did earlier today. And if you actually follow my Bat from the Box Instagram account, I accidentally posted on that the football stuff instead of posting it on my regular one. So I'm pretty sure people that like Batman were like, what? But anyways. I did my fantasy draft, and we made a new rule today because we vote on rules and all this stuff. It's not like everybody can do whatever they want. It's pretty legit. And we made a new rule to where you can't pick up any new people until after week 1. So now this dude is kind of screwed. Luckily, he has a backup quarterback, but his quarterback's gone. So I was like, that helps me out. So shout out Andrew Luck, thank you. Let's see. What do you think about Marvel's announcements? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Moon Knight, because I wonder if Moon Knight's just gonna be a straight up like Batman ripoff, or if they're gonna try to make it so different that it's not Batman-y. You know what I mean? Because Moon Knight, let's be real, Moon Knight is a Batman ripoff. ESPN hitting me up. Calm down, ESPN. Andrew Luck's gets emotional announcing retirement. Speaking of Andrew Luck, let's see. Yeah, I just want to see. I mean, Moon Knight's, like I said, he's a rip-off of Batman. A lot of characters are. But I want to see what they're going to do to make him not be like that. You could say the same thing about Daredevil, and when you watch a Daredevil show, it didn't feel like Batman. So, we'll see. But, I mean, it's no longer Netflix, so we'll be seeing how Disney's going to be handling that. So, it'll be interesting. Moon Knight's probably the only one I'm really excited about, though. I'm still not going to buy Disney Plus, though, so I'm going to see if my friends will let me borrow it or something. What up, Derek? How you doing, man? Have you watched Batman Hush? I have watched Batman Hush. What did you think? I thought it was okay. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. I didn't think it was the most amazing thing, but I know everybody hates the ending. Just seen the reports. Luck might be retiring. No, he literally just announced his retirement. Oh, what's up, man? On season 5 of Arrow. I have not seen. I've seen season 5 of Arrow, but I have not watched the current season of Arrow, so I have no idea what's going on in that show. I know it's about to end, but I have no idea what's going on with it, so it'll be crazy. But yeah, what did you think of Batman Hush, Derek? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. Thanks for the breaking news, Juice. I try. Not a sports place, but I'll break news if I have to. Let's see. Have you seen Gotham by Gaslight? Gotham by Gaslight I have seen. I really like that one. That one did differentiate. Sorry, there you go. From the book. But I like what they did. They added the boys in there as like little homeless kids, running around the city and stuff. And then they added Catwoman, which I thought was really dope. And I like the changes that they made to that movie from the book, because I think they were both equally good. Let's see. I love the comic book version a lot better. Yeah, of course. I mean, Hush is arguably one of the best Batman stories of all time. So that's what I was telling people when they were going in to watch Hush. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch Hush. I'm like, don't go into it thinking it's gonna be as good as the comic book, because it's not. I mean, you had Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, which is probably one of the best teams in comics, and there was no way you were gonna beat that story in a movie. You're just not. I want to see a deceased animated movie. That would be crazy, George. That would be crazy, but it would be awesome. Especially if they were to just follow the comic book the way it's currently going. It would be pretty awesome. Do you think that people that aren't fans of Gotham just shit on it to shit on it? That's a good question. Yes, I mean some of them, because I mean, you guys know me. I'm very vocal about what I think about Gotham, and I've definitely shat on it before. But I don't know. But I've seen the show, and I read the comics, and even, I think, I'm not even gonna lie, like some of the fans were one of the reasons why I got away from the show, because there was no like everything was great. Everything was great to some people, and it's fine if you like the show. That's awesome. But I don't know, saying like everything's the greatest show ever, or this and that, or nothing's wrong with the show, there's no problems, there's no issues, just kind of annoyed me, because there was plenty of issues. There was so many story issues. Even if you weren't bringing the comics into it, like if the comics had nothing to do with the show, there was still so many plot holes and terrible writing and stuff that I was just like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So let's see. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so it was interesting. Did you hear that Kevin Conroy playing the live action of Bruce Wayne on the Arrowverse Crisis? Yeah, I heard about that. I also heard that he's trying to he would love Mark Hamill to be the Joker, which would be really interesting. Let's see. Clay just texted me that Moon Knight is not Batman. Moon Knight is Batman, okay? Moon Knight is totally Batman. He's a ripoff of it. 100%, Clay. 100%. You know he is. All right? You know he is. Let's see. If Matt Reeves puts Riddler in the Batman, I hope he does him right. He kind of needs to be the main villain of the live-action Batman movie again. Will he be the main person, though? That's the thing. I feel like Matt Reeves is going to have, like, a secret person. Then again, if Matt Reeves were to come in here and do like Hush, then see, that's the thing now. Now that we just got the animated version of Hush, I don't want Matt Reeves' Batman movie to be Hush, because that's just gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much. But so I'm kind of hoping DC was like, no, we're good. But I don't know. I'm really hoping that it's not Hush, but that would be Riddler being, right in the center of it. Let's see. For me, Gotham Jim Gordon only had one instinct, and it was just the darkness. What do you think of the whole Spider-Man Sony stuff? Okay, I got some opinions on this, because I put out 2 videos this week, one being about the podcast, the other one being about that major death that happened in Batman 77. I don't know if you guys watched those videos. If you haven't, go give them some love and check them out. But the first few comments on those videos were about Spider-Man, and I was just like, come on, it's a Batman channel. But I get it, you know, people want to talk about Spider-Man, and I get it. So my thing is yeah, it sucks that he's being pulled out of the MCU. I'm not a big MCU guy, but Spider-Man was still cool in there. The one thing I will say is I absolutely hate and think it's stupid that people are like, F Sony's stupid, screw Sony, like, bring back Spider-Man, save Spider-Man. And it's not even really Sony's fault. Like, they're a part of it, but nobody's blaming Disney because Disney owns the MCU, and Disney's all like, oh my god, Disney can do no wrong. Disney wanted 50% of the profits of something that Sony owns the rights to. Like, if you don't see how greedy that is, if you don't see how bad that is, like how bad of a deal that is, you're blind, and you should never ever go into business if you think that is like a fair trade, because it's just not. It's not. And Sony, even though I didn't think the movie was very good, in Venom just showed that they can almost make $1 billion movie, because that movie made $800+ million, and now they're gonna do a sequel with a better director and a better cinematographer, and now they're gonna be able to have Spider-Man in it if they want. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what I'm going with. But if you're thinking that you hate the idea of Spider-Man no longer being in the MCU, that's totally fine, because, you know, if you love that series, you think it's dumb that he's not going to be in it anymore. I totally get that. I would hate for somebody in DC to be taken out of there. But if you genuinely think that Disney has no problem, or there's nothing wrong with them in this situation, you're blind. You're totally being biased in this situation, because they wanted 50% of something they don't own. That's ridiculous. Like, would you give somebody 50% of something you own? Come on. I just don't. I think it's a terrible deal, and nobody's giving Disney crap, which I can't believe that. Let's see. Maybe a live-action version of Terry McGinnis alongside Kevin, Batman Beyond. I don't know if I want to see Batman Beyond teased in Infinite Crisis, to be honest. I like Gotham's Riddler. He was very good. I liked him too until they made him lose his mind for like 3 seasons. R.I.P. Got ahead, Juice. Take care. Have a good night. Peace out, George. Thanks for coming by. You're talking about Spider-Man. Hello all. Let's see. Juice, are you going to review the show Pennyworth? I'm not going to review it, but how many episodes are out already? There's a few, right? I don't have that channel, so I have to find a way to watch it. But I might, watch a few episodes and talk about it on my, podcast over here. If you haven't checked out the podcast, go check it out. And so that's what I was going to say too. I didn't really get to cover it on this podcast because I was trying to get this podcast out really quickly. My next podcast, I'm going to kind of talk about what to expect on the podcast. But on the podcast, I'll more than likely be talking about the movies and the shows as well. I'm still going to be posting videos and stuff on YouTube, but I'm going to be going more in depth on the podcast about a lot of things. So definitely download the podcast if you want more Batman news and more like of my theories and stuff going in depth, because I want the YouTube channel to go and start being more of the research videos, the more heavily edited videos, stuff like that, and not so much news that is not going to be anything anymore. So the podcast is pretty much the alternative. So I plan on watching some of the shows and stuff, and I'll be like, yeah, I saw, Batwoman this week, and blah, 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 here are my thoughts. Same thing, if I watch Pennyworth, I'll be like, yeah, I watched Pennyworth this weekend, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of how that'll go. Pennyworth did look pretty decent. Let's see. What is your prediction for Crisis on Infinite Earths? Who do you think will die? I wouldn't be surprised if Arrow dies, but has like some crazy, stupid, happy ending. Like, I don't know. Like, you see him in heaven or something. I don't know. I think it's going to be something kind of lame. I think it's going to be a lot of fan service with not a great story. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I feel like they're hiring all these people. They're going to show all this cool stuff. But I feel like the story is not going to be something epic that we're hoping for. Although I do think that it will merge all the Earths. And I think some of the random side characters will die, like maybe like Jay Garrick or something like that. Garrick. Venom was a hugely anticipated movie. Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't good, in my opinion. Pennyworth looked decent. I want a live-action Starro Robin. That'd be kind of cool. Joker movie getting rated R. Yeah, Joker movie is being rated R. Are you a Tarantino fan? You know what? It's funny. I like Tarantino. I'm not a huge fan by him. I know a lot of people love his old stuff. They're like, oh my god, Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs and blah, blah, blah. I thought that movie Death Race was kind of trash, in my opinion. But his old stuff, I think it's okay. I really didn't start liking Tarantino until Inglourious Basterds. I wasn't a big Tarantino fan until Inglourious Basterds. I appreciate his other stuff, but I don't know. I wanted more cinematic stuff, and I feel like he didn't really start doing a lot of that until Inglourious Basterds. Venom sucked. What do you think about Spider-Man leaving the MCU? Well, I kind of just answered that, Ethan. I was talking about how it sucks, but I just don't like how people are blaming Sony, but not blaming Disney at all. What up, Nathan? How you doing? One Starro Robin and Batman Matt Reeves film? Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. What up, Dylan? Tom Welling back for Crisis. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't try to get him. I wonder if he would have done it or not. Batwoman looks like hot garbage. I heard the first episode's pretty terrible, but it's got a full season, so I never like to judge shows off their first season, or I like to give them a full season, not just one episode, because usually the people in charge of a lot of superhero shows don't know what they're doing, and it's not until they get their footing with the character that they really, get it going. Because some of those shows have started off pretty terrible. I heard Burt Ward will be heavily involved in Batwoman. That'll be interesting. Doing what though? I don't know what he'd be doing. What do you think is the best actor to play Jason Todd in a live-action movie under the Red Hood? Probably the guy from Stranger Things. If they go for, See, that's the thing that sucks now. They're going with this, like, late 20-year-old Batman. So you're not going to have these, like, 20-year-old Nightwings and 20-year-old, like, Red Hoods. So I don't know when those are going to happen. But, I don't know. We'll see. Unless they're trying to just make Robert Pattinson be his age in this. Which, I mean, could be fine if you are going with a 30-something-year-old Batman. Because, well, we had a 40-plus-year-old Batman in BVS. So, if they're going with the actual ages of the actors, then I would go with the dude from Stranger Things that plays the brother. Forgetting his name. But, yeah, you've seen Stranger Things. You know what I'm talking about. Do you think Pennyworth will do the same mistake Gotham did because it's the same producers? I think Pennyworth is not going to have the problem Gotham has because it has nothing to do with Batman. And I think they can just make their like little James Bond kind of film or kind of series that they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to worry about like, oh, we got to introduce Joker. We got to introduce this and that. I think they can actually just focus on being like a spy drama and go from there. So I think they'll have a better chance of doing that. Blue Beetle versus Spider-Man. Who wins? Well, Spider-Man has a spidey sense, but I would say Blue Beetle also kind of has a spider sense with the Scarab. Are we talking about Jaime Ramirez, or are we talking about regular Blue Beetle? Like Ted Kord. Because if it's Jaime Ramirez, I don't know, man. That Blue Beetle's pretty OP with the Scarab. It's gangster. He'd probably just keep super blasting Spider-Man all over the place, but who knows, man? The Spidey sense is pretty gangster. What is your favorite film last year? Mine was Bad Times at the Elroy. Didn't do and expecting much. But my God, I was surprised. I went to see it 3 more times. Damn, nice. A film of last year? I don't know. I mean, I saw Aquaman twice, but that's not my favorite film of last year. I'm trying to think of something I saw multiple times. I'd have to look at the films of last year and be like, oh yeah, I really like this, because it's hard for me to think of one off the top of my head. Let's see. They're both money-hungry companies that never do what's across best for everyone, but the president, day by day, will be getting trillions of dollars. Okay. Did you hear the rumors that Charlie Hunnam will be cast as a live-action Green Arrow? That rumor's been going around for like 5 years already. I don't think it's gonna happen. What did you think of the Joker being in Mortal Kombat 11? Somebody said that looked like that Joker looked like a emo kid, or like a scene kid Joker, and I can't get that vision out of my head now, because it just looks hilarious. It looks like somebody that was like a scene kid, or you know, something like that in high school, and they just put Joker makeup on, and I'm just like, God damn it, I can't get that picture out of my head now. I was a big fan of Roy Harper and Arrow. Roy Harper was pretty dope. Voltron or Power Rangers? Power Rangers. You like the Spider-Verse, right? That could be your favorite movie of 2018. Spider-Verse was pretty awesome. Spider-Verse was pretty awesome. Coco wasn't 2018 though, right? Coco was what, 2017? Pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, cause Coco won the Oscar that year. So definitely. Captain America versus Batman. Who wins in a straight up fist fight? Batman. He has way more fighting styles. Poor parody Joker. Nice. I would go Batman. He has way more fighting techniques. Way more fighting techniques. Captain America, if you're not giving him a shield or a gun, what he has enhanced human strength, still, Batman would avoid a lot of his techniques. I'd go Batman on that one. Let's see what else. Blah blah blah. But what? I forgot. There was like somebody was making a big deal about these, or I at least saw it on the internet. I don't know why. Because I know there was supposed to be an article or something that came out about Birds of Prey. And Birds of Prey they're like, it's not a straight up sequel to Suicide Squad. I'm like, why would Birds of Prey be a Suicide Squad sequel? Like, I never understood that. A lot of these articles recently were talking about that. I guess because it involved Harley Quinn. But they're like, Joker's not even gonna be in it. When there was clearly some screenshots that came out where Joker was throwing clothes and stuff out of a house and Harley was collecting all the stuff. So I don't know what they're trying to do there. Have you watched Mindhunter? I have not. Juice, I noticed you have less views than before on your vids. Yeah, because nobody likes me anymore. You hear that Anthony Mackie says that his character will not be called Captain America in the Disney Plus show? That's stupid. Iron Man versus Cyborg. Who wins? See, when you start putting stuff out there like that, you're like crossing universe, right? Because everybody's like, oh, Iron Man's OP, Iron Man's gonna win. But if you start bringing the sciences into it, you're talking about Cyborg, who can control electronics. Like, he can control everything. He would be able to like hack into Iron Man's stuff. Like, he's got a mother box in his body, you know what I mean? So he would be able to tap into everything. He could see all the systems that are going on in the Iron Man suit. So it's just like super OP. It's kind of hard to answer those kind of questions. He can also teleport, yeah. So I would go Cyborg there. And I know that sounds like, oh, you're probably just giving them all to DC because you're a DC fanboy. No, I'm just trying to think logically. You're asking a man who built a suit of armor versus a man that has technology literally keeping him alive, and he's able to see every like text message in the world at hyperspeed pretty much. So yeah. Quicksilver versus the Flash. Who wins in a race? Dude, Quicksilver is super slow compared to the Flash. Like, super slow. I don't even know if Quicksilver can travel through time. The Flash would destroy him. Have you seen that freaking SpongeBob episode where they're superheroes and he's like, you want to see me run into that rock? You want to see me do it again? That's the Flash. Whereas Quicksilver's like, huh? He's Patrick. Let's see. Arguing Birds of Prey is a Suicide Squad sequel is like BVS being a Man of Steel sequel. Yeah, same. That was always a stupid thing too. How buff do you think Robert Pattinson will get for Batman? You know what? I'm kind of scared about that because he's currently filming a Christopher Nolan movie, right? He's filming a Christopher Nolan movie. They showed some photos of him. He doesn't look that much buffer at all. So I think he's staying pretty slender for this Christopher Nolan movie. And then I think he gets ready to be in the Batman. And that kind of worries me. And I know some people were like, well, look at Zachary Levi. He didn't get super buff for Shazam, and they made the suit make him fit. But I don't know. I hope he gets, a little bit more built and stuff, but I just don't see. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. Then again, man, when you have a personal trainer, a chef, a nutritionist, they can turn your body around pretty quickly. So if he's like eating 8 times a day and training 3 hours a day or something like that with a personal trainer, they could probably turn his body around really quickly. So we'll see. Would Tom Hardy be a good Wolverine? Yeah, probably. Bum, bum, bum. Blah, blah, blah. I like Clay. If you're watching the stream, type in the chat. I see you're texting me. Just type in the chat. You can't tell me you're not able to type. Come on. He's telling me that Infinity Gauntlet. So this is what Clay's saying. In the old crossover, tech from other universes didn't work in the opposite universe. The Infinity Gauntlet didn't work in the DC universe. The Speed Force doesn't exist in the Marvel universe. But you know what? We're not freaking going off the old comics, Clay. We're going off of in general. If we had everything. Because that's how we're doing this around here. We don't play by old comic rules. We play by our rules. Juice, if Disney buys WB, we might have a crossover of Marvel and DC. I never want a crossover of Marvel and DC. I want them to stay separate. I don't want Disney to ever own DC because I think Batman would probably be trash if Disney owned them, to be honest, 100%. Don't ever want that to happen. If I had $1 billion and Disney was like, we're about to buy WB, but WB's like, we're going to sell DC because technically they'd have a monopoly if they own both big properties. I'd be like, $1 billion, I'll buy DC from you right now. Boom, done. I'd do it. Although I'm pretty sure DC would sell for like multiple billions of dollars. So I'd need multiple. Any games tonight or nah? Nope. Bane versus Kingpin. Who wins? I don't know. They're both big dudes. Does Bane have Venom? Hail Hydra. Will Robert Pattinson have a good bat cowl or use a voice modulator? I don't think after the whole Christian Bale debacle, I don't see anybody not having a voice modulator again. I don't think they'll allow somebody to do the bat voice. Can One Punch Man be defeated by the Death Note? I guess if he knows, as long as the Death Note knows his real name. What up, Seabass? You should always go by comic book rules in general. Do you think Sony and Marvel will come to an agreement? I don't care. I mean, I hope not. I know that people are like, what? Oh my god, why wouldn't you want Sony and Marvel? I want to see fucking Carnage versus Spider-Man versus Venom, okay? I'm never going to get that in the MCU. The MCU is going to try to make these technological freaking villains. Like, that's the one thing I don't like about Marvel, okay? And that's what I don't like about the way Marvel or the MCU treats their characters. They try to make everything with science. Everything. Like, every Spider-Man villain is like super tech or whatever, and I know the comic books are like that, but Mysterio is just like some weak-ass dude with some drones. He's way more badass in the comic books, and like, I don't know, like, I felt like Marvel just doesn't do their villains very well. I also thought Thanos was a bitch. Yeah, I said it. I thought Thanos was pretty weak in those freaking movies. Like, yeah, he came with this whole army and stuff, but the whole crap with his, Gamora, I thought that was trash. Like, I want some badass, scary villains. Like, I feel like the villains in Marvel are just super subpar, and they should be way better. And I don't know, I just hate how everything's like technology based and blah 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 blah. And it's just like, dude, just give me a badass guy. Like, oh, this guy's got magic. and like, oh, his magic's so badass. And like, I'm tired of trying to explain all this bullshit. But I just want Venom versus Carnage versus Spider-Man. That's all I want. So if he doesn't go back to the MCU, I'm cool with that, because you know Sony's gonna give that to us. WB needs to buy Sony so they can have a Spider-Man crossover. What if Disney buys out Sony? I don't know if they would be able to do that. I mean, I'm sure they have the money to, but I don't know, like, legally, at that point, you're getting rid of a lot of stuff, and Disney just controls more of the market. They started becoming a monopoly at that point. I hope we have a Bat Boys from Batman Telltale series and the Batman. That'd be kind of cool. I think the villains Batman has the greatest rogues gallery. I would agree. I would say Spider-Man's second, to be honest. Just so Disney can't have it. Yeah, WB buying Sony would be crazy. WB buying Sony would be crazy. But you know, blah blah blah. Hold on. Let's see. Do you think Pierce Brosnan can be a good Alfred? He's being rumored. I heard that was coming from a different source. Like not such a good source is what I should say. So I don't know if that's even true. But I mean, yeah, I think he'd be dope. I'd have him as Alfred. I think the rumored plot for Batman 2020 is filming The Long Halloween is a good comic. Yeah, long as they don't call it Batman The Long Halloween. If it's similar to Long Halloween, I'm cool with it. Just don't call it Long Halloween. Because the moment you do that, people are going to be like, oh, Long Halloween is so much better. And I hate that shit. Like, don't take names. Age of Ultron. It has nothing to do with Age of Ultron. Don't take the names from other big comic books. Just make your own movie with similar stuff. That's all you gotta do. What's up, HMI? That's one of my biggest gripes. Why take a name? I know they're just gonna try to sell, like, oh yeah, Age of Ultron, it's this and that. But it had nothing to do with that. Solid Snake versus John Wick. Who you got? I think I'd go Solid Snake there, to be honest. Hey bro, how are you? I like your honesty. Thanks, Mario. I try, man. I try. I mean, I don't see any point in I guess being fake, you know? There are a lot of people out there that will play into the fandom and be like, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing ever and nothing's wrong with it. And I think it's just bullshit, you know? We're all fans. We can have discussions. You can like something I don't like, and it's totally fine. We don't have to shit on each other. But I think let's just all be real, you know? I just think that some people are a little fake with some of their stuff sometimes, and I don't really want to be like that. Government can't allow it because of restrictions of business laws, because during Mr. Teddy Roosevelt, Vinny's bringing all this stuff in here. If Disney buys Sony, they are going to screw up Spider-Man 4, PS4. Yeah, that's the one thing. Disney doesn't make great video games, and when they bought Star Wars, they canceled a bunch of games, and that would be kind of scary. Crazy Gaming, what up? Thanos is a bitch. Hashtag. Black Widow versus Black Canary. Who wins? Oh, that's a good one. If you're saying, like, if we were just to take the movies, I'd go Scarlett Johansson versus the Black Widows in the show. I mean, the Black Canaries in the show. I'd go Scarlett Johansson, hands down. Her Black Widow. In the comic books, though, I don't know. Like, the Canary Cry is pretty crazy, and I've seen, Black Canary do some badass stuff in the comics. But I haven't read a lot of Black Widow stuff, so I don't want to really pick one there. Juice, who plays video games worse? You or you? I don't know. That's you, Vinny. Let's see. Vinny, I actually win matches. I don't know, so it's obviously you. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see I want to see a trailer for Birds of Prey so bad. Is Spider-Man officially out of the MCU, or can they still come to an agreement? They can always come to an agreement. It doesn't matter. I mean, it could have been, Disney asked for 50% of the profits, and, Sony was like, screw you, we're done. But they could also be like, look, you were getting 5% before, we'll give you 5.5. You know, like if Sony wanted to be dicks, and just be like, we'll give you a little bit more, not a lot, but a little bit. So, but I think Sony's smart. Like, Sony used Disney, like Disney uses other people, or buys them out to use their properties. Sony used them to build a solid franchise of Spider-Man. So now, when Sony makes a movie with Tom Holland and Spider-Man, people are going to be like, oh, it's Spider-Man. And they're still going to go watch it. They're still going to go watch it. Especially because although Disney was writing, you know, Disney freaking was doing all this MCU, Kevin Feige's producing everything, Sony said that they want to keep Tom Holland and they want to keep the director. So you have two of your biggest pieces there. I mean, it's not like Kevin Feige's directing every movie. He's just like planning it out. Like, this is how it's going to go. We're going to do this. And now I think Sony would make a little bit darker Spider-Man if they wanted to too. Because I don't know how you guys feel. But I haven't been a big fan of the Spider-Man movies. I think Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man. I think he's a great Spider-Man. But first of all, the first Homecoming, they showed everything in the trailers. So that movie wasn't surprising. And then I saw Far From Home. Far From Home. And I thought it was okay. I haven't really been a big fan of the Spider-Man films. I just want Spider-Man versus Venom versus Carnage. That is all I want, because that is one of the most iconic freaking drawings ever. I believe it's one of the covers where Spider-Man's in the middle of both of them and the other two are doing their fucking symbiote shit right around Spider-Man. It looks awesome. I want that scene in a movie, and I want Spider-Man to fight all them. And to have those two characters in a movie, I think you gotta go a little darker. I don't know if you can really do this Disney stuff with those two characters, and that's probably why Disney wasn't using them. Let's see. Can you turn down the music a bit? I could turn it down a bit, but not a lot. Just a bit. Which I don't even know where I have it, to be honest. Where do I have the music at? Wait, for real, where do I have the music at? Is it over here? Oh, it's over here. There, I turned it down a little bit. I can't control that one too much. Let's see. Marvel versus DC game, I wouldn't buy it. I'm not even gonna buy it. Are you guys gonna buy that Marvel game that's coming out? I don't think it looks good, to be honest. Which other DC superhero should get an Arkham series treatment? I was talking to my friend Clay about this. We talked about it on the podcast. Go watch it on the podcast. Arrow. Green Arrow should get his own movie. His own game. This is what I told my friend Clay. Imagine like Tomb Raider or Horizon Zero Dawn mechanics. The way you use the bow and arrows in those games. Imagine that, but with Green Arrow. That game would be amazing. Green Arrow should get the freaking Arkham treatment. Tom Holland said he is done with Spider-Man today during the Pixar panel because Tom Holland is in a new Disney movie. I'd have to see that. I don't agree with that because Tom Holland is under contract for 2 more Spider-Man movies. He can't just say I'm not going to do it anymore unless he's willing to pay millions of dollars to not be in them. Disney is being greedy. Honestly, Disney would take a bigger hit than Sony will. You have already established Spider-Man in the MCU, and if they lose him, then pretty much everything would be. Yeah, that's the thing too. Disney was basically gonna make Spider-Man their next Iron Man. They probably thought like, oh man, Sony is totally loving us. We're making them all this money, so we're just gonna ask for half, and they're totally gonna be cool with it. Yeah, the mouse got greedy. If anything, maybe Sony's like, look, we'll give you 10 to 20% of the profits, but you're also going to put up 10 to 20% of the production costs. And then there you go. Like, I think that's a fair trade for them if they want to do that. And that way they can come up with an agreement to where like you can still keep using Spider-Man, but you're gonna start paying for some of these movies. Because if, from my understanding, was Marvel and like Kevin Feige was helping produce the Spider-Man movies, but Sony was taking all of the costs and was only giving Disney like 5% of, you know, the revenue or something like that. So, you know, Disney was still getting a little cut, but they weren't paying for anything. They were just giving them like Kevin Feige to help them do these movies and stuff. So, you know, I mean, I guess in the business world, I guess that's considered a fair trade or something like that. But when you're gonna come out and freaking say, give us 50% and we'll start helping you with production, hell no. Like, Sony's like, we just made $1 billion. We know how much it costs to make these movies. Why would we give you 50%? Like, we make so much more profit than it costs to make these movies. Screw you. I think Sony was smart. I always appreciate somebody that's willing to stand up for themselves in the face of somebody that is bigger than them. Doesn't mean you're always going to win, and it doesn't mean that you're always right. But I appreciate it, especially if you have a stance that is worth listening to. And I think Sony does. Loki versus Darth Vader. Man, see, now you're getting into two different fandoms. You're talking about Darth Vader, who has, like, the invisible force, but Loki's got, like, magical powers and shit, so I don't know. It's just, you're going into what do you think is stronger? Like, Loki's kind of like magic stuff or the force, so. What do you think about the Avengers game? Looks weak to me. I will not be buying it, Mario. Will not be buying the Avengers game. I think it looks pretty terrible. Anything new on Crisis on Infinite Earths? Nothing that I've heard of, crazy. I've just heard that, freaking... Wow. Batman, Kevin Conroy is trying to... He wants Mark Hamill to be in it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, no more Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's done. I need you to send me some sources, Vinny. Let's see. We should get a Superman game. A Superman game would be cool if it was done right. Who would win in a... Whoops, that didn't finish. Venom versus Parasite. Who wins? Not gonna lie to you. Know nothing about Parasite. No, Tom Holland is not contractually obligated to return. He has the option to. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure that 2 Spider-Man movies were already in the works that he was under contract for. Another Day, Another Uncle Ben. Shots. What do you think? Who would win in a fight between Gotham City Sirens? Wait, what? Who do you think would win in a fight to the death between Gotham City Sirens and Arkham? Well, I mean, who are they fighting against? You're talking about they fighting each other? And if you're talking about Arkham City, like the games, Ivy literally, I think, would kill Catwoman and Harley. Blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what they were doing by having him be the next Iron Man. It meant that Spider-Man was going to play a key role in the MCU, being the leading member of the Avengers, which is basically the next Iron Man. Come on. But, I mean, Disney is pretty much getting all the money from merch for Spider-Man, and weren't able to use him in any... Wait, were able to use him in any ride. They were making money, so the 50% was dumb. Yeah, I believe that was part of it too, right? Like, they got all the merchandising right or something like that. It was nuts. Like, I don't know. And that's what Disney is. Disney loves merchandising, so... Yeah, it was a pretty dumb move. What do you think? What do you think when you turn the music down? You turn the mic down also, because you sound quieter. Well, I didn't. They're two different. They're two different settings, so one doesn't affect the other. Without the MCU, Sony will screw up Spider-Man. Look at what it did to Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, they don't have the best track record, but they also, I think Spider-Man 1 and 2 were dope, though, in my opinion. Captain Marvel versus Wonder Woman. Who wins? You ain't gonna sway me on Wonder Woman. That's the OG badass woman. I will go Wonder Woman all day, every day. She's a demigod. I'm not gonna go Captain Marvel there. Plus, Captain Marvel got whooped by Thanos. Even though she took the headbutt, but she still got worked. Let's see. I know that's the movie and the comic books and blah blah blah. I just think Wonder Woman's been through way more, in my opinion. I mean, she has what, 75 years almost of content. And she's Wonder Woman would wreck. 3 episodes left of Young Justice. I am not even caught up. I saw the first 3 and I have not seen anything after that. Although I've seen some spoilers, but the Eternals cast is stacked. Yeah, they got some good people on there. She got hit with the Power Stone though, so she still got worked. Getting worked. She got hit with the Power Stone. Captain Marvel absolutely trash. I never saw the movie, so I only saw her in the thing. Bland AF killed me. I never saw the movie, so I cannot comment on it. But I just didn't like how she was in Endgame. What if DC made a Black Spider movie? That would be hilarious. But I mean, I don't even know if there's enough content out there to make a Black Spider movie, to be honest. Oh, King! Thank you so much, King. Thank you so much for the super chat, King. You get 2 wheel spins. You get 2 wheel spins on the wheel of Juice-This. Do you want to go left or right? Thank you so much for that super chat. Everybody get some love to King 8 in the chat. You need to let me know, left or right. Left or right, you want to go on the wheel spin. Blah blah blah. Who's your favorite Robin? Dick Grayson. Don't have to. What you saw in Endgame was her and Captain Marvel. Left. Okay, he wants to go left. What up, King? How you doing? Oh, it just popped up on the screen right there. Boom. All right, so we're gonna do some. All right, let me see. Hold up, I gotta clear the webcam. We're gonna do these wheel spins right now. Is it bad? I also hated that woman thing in Endgame in the final battle. It felt super forced. I've heard people say about it. I wasn't really bothered by it. It was a bit on the nose, but talking to some women about it, because a lot of people made up the point like, oh yeah, only the women were around her. That's kind of dumb. But talking to other female fans of the movie, they're like, I didn't really care. They're like, I thought that was pretty awesome. She was like, yeah. I mean, they said like, yeah, it's kind of weird that they were all just in the same area. She was like, but a lot of the guys do all that shit all the time too, and nobody says anything. And I'm like, that's true. I'm not gonna fight against that argument, because there are other stupid crap where guys will just show up and they're there, and you're like, come on, really? So it goes both ways. So yeah, it might have been a little bit on the nose, but other movies do that too. All right, so we're gonna jump over to this thing, and we're gonna do 2 wheel spins. See if I got it set up properly. Whoop, things kind of. Boom. All right, so King, if for some reason if you get on one of these, I'll give you another spin. We're kind of in the process of changing the wheel, so if we land on some of these things, I'll give you another spin, which we haven't landed on these before, so I wouldn't be surprised if we land on them now. So he wants to do 2 left. If you guys don't know what we're about to do, this is the Wheel of Juice-This. If you donate to the channel every $5 for a limited time, it's been a limited time for a while, but I don't mind, you get a wheel spin. So every $5 you donate goes to a wheel spin, and King is about to get 2, wants to use them on left, so here we go. Ooh. First one is going to be story time. So I'll be telling a story here in a little bit. King, if you have any suggestions of what you would like story time, whether it be a high school story, whether it be a current story, something that happened recently, let me know, because it'll try to jog my memory to try to tell you a cool story. But yeah, let's go do one more. Wheel of Juice-This. Ooh. Would you rather? Okay, so this one is open to the whole chat, everybody. This is open to everybody. This is the game of Would You Rather, where it's like, would you rather jump off a building, or would you rather jump into a lion pit? And then I'll go ahead and answer the question. So this is open to everybody. Everybody can go ahead and put some stuff out there. Try to keep them clean. We do have some kids in the chat here at times. But yeah, so any Would You Rathers out there, feel free to put them in chat. and we'll go from there. Thank you so much, King. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate helping out the channel. It means a lot. But I'm going to go back to the main screen. YouTube. Bloop. So there we go. Appreciate it. All right, story time. If you have any suggestions of what I should tell a story about, let me know. Let's see. I mean, she's tough, but Wonder Woman is too much for her to handle. I mean, Wonder Woman can go toe-to-toe with Superman. But then again, I mean, they did try to make Captain Marvel super OP, so. Let's see. Is it? Okay, I already read that. What's going on with Superman in the future of the DCEU? You know, I don't know. I'm really hoping. So there's this rumor, and I don't know if it was fully confirmed or not. I mean, I guess I could look it up. But I'm pretty sure. Let's see. J.J. Abrams signs with WB. I don't know if this was ever official. Blah, blah, blah. That was back in March. Said to be near. So back in June, J.J. Abrams was supposed to be nearing a $500 million deal to sign up with WB and AT&T to keep his movies all in the WB universe, or, you know, in the company. And there was never any confirmation of that. Sometimes those big deals. Wait, J.J. Abrams to sign with Warner Movies, now what? So, I mean, none of these are ever confirmed. It just says he was closing in on this. But the rumors was that J.J. Abrams, he's made these massive movies, you know, Star Trek, Star Wars, just, you know, Super 8, a bunch of all these other random movies. He's made a lot of money off of the stuff he's done. So a lot of people are like, we need him there. And the rumor is, and the idea is, that WB is signing him to this super massive contract to, one, keep him and his ideas at WB, but also to get him to work in the DCEU. And the rumor is that he would take over Superman and possibly Green Lantern Corps. So he'd actually be helming 2 movies, which would be nuts, because I don't know of anybody else that has been in the same universe that's worked on 2 separate movies. I guess you could say the Russo brothers, where they were like Civil War. Oh no, because they did Winter Soldier too, right? So okay, the Russo brothers have done different series. But yeah, apparently J.J. Abrams might be working on 2 different movies for WB, which would be Superman and Green Lantern Corps. But again, that is a rumor. They're thinking that is what will happen if this mega deal happened or whatever, which I'd be all for. And I'm kind of hoping, since J.J. Abrams is somebody that really cares about story, really cares about, you know, the fans and stuff like that, I'm hoping that if he were to do a Superman, he would be like, okay, I'm totally down to do Superman, but I want Henry Cavill to come back. So I'm really hoping that happens, because I think we already lost Batman, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with losing Batman and getting in a younger Batman, because, again, Ben Affleck was going through some stuff. He wasn't there 100% mentally. You know, there was a lot of shit going on in his life. And I feel like if we just had a stable actor in that role, hopefully they'll do multiple films. You know what I mean? Also, that's a lot younger, because, you know, Pattinson's what, 33 or something like that? Hopefully the trilogy will probably be done by the time he's 40, I would think. And then hopefully he'll do more films in between there. Because what, Downey Jr. is in his 50s, I think, and he was still doing a bunch of cameos and movies and stuff like that. So hopefully Pattinson can, you know, be the RDJ of the DCEU, which I don't think is going to happen. I think he's probably going to do 3 movies and bounce. But hopefully they're just like, here's some money, please do more Batman movies. But we'll see what happens. Let's see. Have you ever watched Supernatural? I have not. What do you think of Jane Foster with Mjolnir to Earth's Hammer? Do you think it will be reforged? I don't know. Probably. But I mean, I'm down with it. I'm down with her. I applaud the MCU with actually bringing back Natalie Portman and keeping that comic book story intact. How long do you think Alfred will stay dead? Spoilers. I don't know. I mean, Lego Pete, did you listen to my podcast? If you haven't listened to the podcast, I did do a lot of theories on there. So you might want to go talk about that. Me and my friend Clay talk about possible theories about how Alfred could come back, or that he might just stay dead. I'd highly suggest go listening to the podcast, because it was pretty cool. If you could have switched Zack Snyder with someone else for directing Justice League, who would it be? Guillermo del Toro. He was supposed to do Justice League Dark, but I think he would have still done a badass Justice League 2. Would you rather wake up one day in North Korea or Syria? Okay, I'm not very good on geography, but if I'm not mistaken, Syria has like a lot of bombings and stuff, right? I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I am. But in that would you rather, since I hate that North Korea is so controlling. But as far as I know, people are definitely starving there, but they're not being bombed. And at least if you're starving, you have the chance to try to escape. Where if you're being bombed, you could die at any moment. If that's not, I'm pretty sure that's going on in Syria. I think they have suicide bombing and stuff there. If I'm wrong, that is my fault. But yeah, I'd go North Korea. I'm 17, by the way. I'd jump into a lion pit if I had some guns. What up, Juice? What up, Martin? Or jump off a building if I had a parachute. Would you rather be a villain in the MCU or a series regular on The Flash? I'd be a series regular on The Flash because all the MCU villains die. A majority of them. Would you rather be Batman that kills or a Superman that kills? Superman that kills. Batman, because at least if you're killing, like if you're gonna kill no matter what, obviously Batman is cooler, but Superman that kills, who's gonna stop you? Besides, you'd have to have other super people. Who stopped Superman before that? You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to fight a Batman. But still, you know, if I'm a Superman that kills, I'm just gonna be killing a bunch of bad people. So, I'd be Superman. Plus, you could do it. You could do so many more in that amount of time because you just got super speed. You know, you fly, you do all this other stuff. Let's see. Just in case you thought you had to keep it PG for me. Oh, no. I wasn't just talking about you, Lego Pete. I know some of my other audience is like 14 and 12 and stuff like that. It's just, I don't care about keeping it PG too much, but I do know some people in here, you know who you are, try to make their questions very out of the zone. Would you rather play Spider-Man PS4 or the new Avengers game? Spider-Man PS4, because that's actually a good game, and it looked like a good game. Happy storyline. A happy storyline. Okay, I'll try to think of one. Would you rather fight the Joker or Venom? Ooh, that's a good one. Because, like, I don't know if you'd want, like, if I don't have any powers, I don't want to fight a symbiote. You know what I mean? I think I'd go Joker. I know Joker is crazy, but I wouldn't have to, like, I feel like if I could run faster than the Joker, I'd be fine. Whereas a symbiote, he could swing after me and I can't run away. And I feel like the Joker would laugh at me for running. Aren't you excited for the J.J. Abrams Spider-Man comic? Not, LOL. He's writing that with his son or something, right? That's what I've heard. Spider-Man back with Sony. Yeah. Well, they have been putting some bangers out with Aquaman and Shazam, so I have hope. I agree. Do you think that DC will ever actually set up the Bat family? And I agree. I'm glad we got someone new. I honestly think that's what Matt Reeves is trying to do. I think he's gonna do a solid Batman film, and he's gonna branch out to all of the other films. Because apparently, like, Batgirl is one of the next movies that WB wants to make. So Batgirl is gonna happen at some point. And with Birds of Prey coming out in February, if Birds of Prey, like, pops off and it's, like, critically successful and people love it, do not be surprised if there's a director months after Birds of Prey is done. Would not surprise me, because they already have a script. They already have a script for Batgirl, so wouldn't be surprised if there's a director to make a Batgirl movie very shortly after that. What two villains would you like to see go all out? Two villains go all out. Huh. I would really like to see how crazy Scarecrow can get. Like, if he were to have a crazy ass storyline and, you know, doing stuff with, like, just how crazy he can get with his toxins and how he can control people and their fear and stuff like that. And what other villains? don't know. Apocalypse. We'll go with Apocalypse. Although he's just like a Thanos and just like a Darkseid. But I've always loved Apocalypse. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I have the same wallpaper for your video thumbnail. What a coincidence. What up, Dragon? How you doing? What suit do you use more in Spider-Man? Okay, so I did a lot of the side missions. I haven't beat that game, by the way. I haven't beat Spider-Man PS4. But the suit I was using a lot was the one you get from Black Cat. That one was pretty dope. I was using that one a lot. That one or the punk one. The one with the guitar and stuff. Let's see. Would you rather have the Snyder Cut released or keep Spider-Man in the Sonyverse? Keep Spider-Man in the Sonyverse. Yeah, I said it. I'd rather keep Spider-Man in the Sonyverse because the Snyder Cut, at this point, I would hate to give the Snyder Cut fans the justification of being like, see, we told you. Because they're so terrible and awful. Like, WB can't post anything ever without them saying the Snyder Cut. Although if the Snyder Cut got released, I guess they would shut up. But I doubt it. What did Alfred die in? The Batman comic. Spoilers. Would you like the DC Universe to do more just one-off movies to make more content on the service? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just want a bunch of good one-off movies to eventually make a good Justice League. If the Russo brothers will direct DC films, what hero would you like them to direct? I think Joe Russo actually said he wants to direct a Batman film. I would give Joe Russo or the Russo brothers a Elseworld Batman story. Give them an Elseworld Batman story to be on the label that the Joker is going to be on. Who will win? Kong versus Godzilla. You know what? I would always go Godzilla just because I feel like he's awesome and I think he's cooler than Kong. But do we really think that those guys are just going to fight each other? Or are they going to team up to fight like the Dragon Zord? Something random else is going to happen in that movie, isn't it? Like there has to be another crazy villain or something that's going to make Kong and Godzilla team up to fight that thing. Like, they're going to fight the human race or something. Like, all the humans are just going to get on top of each other's shoulders. And they're going to make one big person. That person's going to fight Kong and Godzilla. It happened in Batman Ninja, okay? So, it's possible. What did you say in the Spider-Man... what did you say in the Superman versus Homelander question? I didn't hear you. It wasn't a Superman Homelander question. It was a would I rather kill somebody as Batman or kill somebody as Superman? But I said I'd rather kill somebody as Superman because at least you have all the powers. Let's see. Which Power Rangers series would you rather be a part of? The OG one, the one with Tommy. And I'd prefer to be Tommy because Pink Ranger was my crush when I was growing up. And that was Tommy's girlfriend. Would you rather be a Super Saiyan or a superhero? Well, I mean, can I be Superman? Because if I could be Superman, I'd be Superman. But if I can't be Superman, then I'd be a Super Saiyan. And it's also, well, I mean, I guess both of them always have trouble, but yeah, I'd definitely pick Superman over being a Super Saiyan. Do you think the Joker movie connected to Matt Reeves' Batman? No, 100% will not be. Theory, Alfred would probably be put in the Lazarus Pit by Batman. Batman is very against the Lazarus Pit. I don't think Batman would go into the Lazarus Pit. Although, yes, I know he did it in the Batman Beyond show, but in comics-wise, he's not for the Lazarus Pit. Have you played Jump Force? I have not. We need a war of jokes and riddles. I want to see Kite Man on the big screen. That would be hilarious. Would you rather be a member of DX or a member of the Bullet Club? DX, bro. I grew up with DX. Bullet Club is cool, but I don't know. I feel like the Bullet Club kind of died when Tonga and all of them jumped them. What are they called? The Firing Squad? I feel like that's when the Bullet Club died. Like, they didn't even go anywhere with that storyline, did they? Like, did they end up fighting? I don't know. I just think DX was just their faction was just so badass. Juice, did you hear the leaked plot of Birds of Prey where Black Mask hides his nudes in a diamond that Cassandra Cain swallowed, and he wants to cut it out of her? I don't know if that's real. That would be stupid. But I did hear some stuff about Black Mask that I won't put on here just so it's not spoilers. But that would be, I think that's fake. Did you hear that from Grace? Did you hear that from Grace Rudolph? Because she's a super liar. Don't even watch that chick, to be honest. Would you rather see The Batman or the Flash movie early? The Batman. I'll pick The Batman over anything. Have you played Red Dead Redemption 2? Yes, I love that game. BVS style, ha ha ha. Kong and Godzilla will fight, and then a monster like Destroyer will show up. Are you shook that Ezra Miller Flash Solo is moving forward? That, I don't know what's gonna happen with that thing, man. I honestly don't know what's gonna happen with Ezra Miller and the Flash, because it's just so weird and so crazy. We'll find out probably in January, because the thing that sucks about, I wanted Ezra Miller to leave. Like, if there was anybody that was gonna leave a role, I wanted it to be Ezra. I like Ezra, by the way. I have no issue with him, but he still has like 2 more of those stupid Harry Potter movies to make. If you're a Harry Potter fan, cool, but I don't think those movies have been really good, in my opinion. Like, the second one was okay. I like the first one. Second one was kind of just a movie to set up another movie, in my opinion. But he has to film those damn movies before he can do The Flash, and that's just annoying. It's so annoying. Usually you would film one of those movies, a movie in between, then another movie, and then blah blah blah. But he has to wait until like both of those movies are done to even start The Flash, and I just want that movie to be done with. So I was totally hoping they would cast somebody new, but he's staying on. They're getting Christina Hudson, who wrote Birds of Prey, who's writing Batgirl, and is going to write The Flash now. So she's taking over the DCEU and writing. She's a good writer. I don't know if you guys saw Bumblebee. She did Bumblebee. But, yeah, I don't know. So I think she'll make a great Flash story. But I just, man, that movie's been through so much crap. I just wish it was gone. Like, I wish he was gone so we could just cast somebody else and make the movie. Because they're on their 4th director. Like, it's insane. No, I asked you earlier who would win, Superman or Homelander. Superman. I mean, Superman can pick up a plane. Homelander can't. DX all day. We're already seeing Kite Man in the Lego Batman movie. I'd be a Super Saiyan over a superhero. His power level's over 9,000. When the next Joker trailer is coming out, what do you think? I would assume soon. That thing comes out in next month. Well, we're not technically in September yet, but we're about to be. What do you think about those people saying the Joker movie does not represent the character? Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Tips Beach. Thanks, Ryder. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Beach. Ryder, do you watch Jenna Marbles? That every time I see Beach spelled like that, I think it's hilarious. I always think of her. So the Joker movie. Nobody should go into that movie thinking it's supposed to be about the comic. It's not. It's a experimental film that deals with the character. It's a character study, as they're, classifying it as. But it's not going to follow the comics. Yeah, there's probably a little Bruce Wayne in there. There is a Thomas Wayne. But they're just secondary characters in a story that is about a tormented guy that would eventually become the Joker. So it's not following the comic books, and yeah, if it's not following the comic books, it's definitely not going to represent the character fully. But just consider it an Elseworld story. I mean, because there are plenty of Elseworld stories that don't necessarily represent the characters. They're just somebody's vision telling a story in a different way. So I think that's exactly what the Joker's going to be. The Lego Batman movie is a shit Batman movie. You are speaking craziness, Ryder. It was okay. I mean, a lot of people did hype up the Batman Lego movie. I thought it was alright. Are you going to watch AEW, bro? Yes, I will watch AEW. Will I watch it on a weekly basis? Probably not. Clifford versus Godzilla. Oh man. Oh, what if that's the thing, right? They're filming a Clifford movie right now. What if Clifford is the one that comes out and fights Godzilla and Kong? That would be crazy. They team up to fight Clifford. If that's the case, I would pick Clifford because dogs rule. Would you rather give a WWE push to Samoa Joe or Drew McIntyre? Damn, bro, both of those guys deserve it. Are we talking about heel Samoa Joe or babyface Samoa Joe? Because they're kind of pushing him as a babyface right now. I think a babyface Samoa Joe would be pretty awesome. But, oh man, Drew McIntyre is so good, dude. The Claymore is such a badass move. Arthur Morgan or John Marston? Okay, so we've had this question before, right? We've had this question before. John Marston is the OG, and I am somebody that cares about the OGs. I think Arthur had an amazing storyline. I think he's awesome. I think he's dope. But I'd go John Marston, just because he's the OG, and I've played with that character longer than I have Arthur. But Arthur was awesome. Is it true Batman have OCD for saving villains from dying? Maybe. I've never heard that in a story, but he doesn't want anybody to die. He doesn't think anybody should. Michael Bay TMNT versus Power Rangers 2016 movie. Ooh, that would be terrible. What other superhero would you like Rocksteady to make a game of? Green Arrow. We mentioned that earlier. Yes, Beach. What do you think of FATL? I don't know what that abbreviation is. What do you think of the fatalities in MK Reboot? Oh, you didn't finish it? They look cool, but I'm not really a big fan of the Mortal Kombat games anymore. Would you rather get hit with Undertaker's Last Ride or Stone Cold Stunner? Dude, one, because the Stunner, I feel like you get to be a little bit more involved in the Stunner. Like, you know, the way The Rock would oversell it. Like, he'd get stunned and, like, jump backwards and flip and dive out of the ring. Like, you could make the Stunner look so ridiculously powerful. Whereas the Last Ride, I think the Undertaker just kills you. Like, just go back and watch some of the Undertaker's Last Ride. He just freaking, one, gives you a wedgie, depending on what kind of costume you're wearing. Gives you a super wedgie and just power slams you to hell. And, yeah, at least with the Stunner, one, I could be like, I got freaking stunnered by Stone Cold. And then I could actually sell. Whereas the Last Ride, you just die. So, yeah, I'd go the Stone Cold Stunner. They both deserve the Universe WWE Championship, but they got shitted on. I agree, Derek. I agree. Did you at least finish the story of Spider-Man PS4? If you did, what do you think about it? I did not. So, this is what happened, right? Lucas, I don't think Lucas is in here, but shout out to Lucas because if you guys don't ever go to the Twitch streams, you should come hang out. We do them every Friday. We play a bunch of games and stuff. But what happened was I had a viewer buy Spider-Man for me, and he donated the money for it. He was like, "Hey, buy Spider-Man so you can play it. It's awesome." And I was like, "Sweet." So we started playing it on stream, and I said that I would do the storyline on stream. And we ended up getting sidetracked and stuff, and so I was like, alright guys, well I kind of want to play Spider-Man outside of stream. What I'll do is I'll just do side missions and I won't do the main story. And so I did all the side missions. It's why I have all the backpacks. I've done all of the beacons or whatever. I've done all of the things where you help like Harry Osborn or whatever. I've done all of the Black Cat photos. I've done all the side missions and have not done the story. That's why I have all these costumes, but I haven't done the story. So I just can't, I haven't finished the game because I was like, I'll do it on stream. And I just always felt bad about not finishing the game because I was like, I said I'd do it on stream, but we never got back to it. So that's, and then it's just been so long that I've never went back. Let's see. Do you think Gotham ended too soon? I think Gotham should have ended at season 3. If you want me to be 100% honest, I think seasons 1 through 3 were pretty spectacular. Like, I enjoyed them as a fan. Season 4 and 5 just seemed like they were like, oh my god, we didn't think we were going to get renewed for 2 more seasons. What are we doing? I think it would have been perfect if it would have ended at season 3. And I've said this on stream before, and I've said it in videos. But if Gotham had ended on season 3, during these live streams today, I would be telling you, like, Gotham ended way too soon. Gotham was an amazing show. It should have gotten more time, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, unfortunately, that's not the case. Let's see. Let's get some more questions up in here. Oh, I got to think of a happy story, too. Man, I'm trying to think of a happy story. I'm trying to think of something cool. Oh, you know what? I can tell you. I'm pretty sure if you've been in this thing for a while, I'm gonna tell a story of one of the times that I got like super shocked when I met the legend, the man, freaking. I'm gonna tell you 2 stories because they're both kind of short, but they're both really cool memories that I remember. One was when I met Jeff Johns. So Comic-Con, my second year. Yeah, the second year I went to Comic-Con, I was pre-mustache, which I've had the mustache for 3 Comic-Cons now, I think. I got to meet Jeff Johns. And if you guys don't know who Jeff Johns is, he's a guy that's, you know, he's wrote some amazing DC comic stories. He's awesome. He's great. He's currently doing a lot of the show stuff. He's supposed to be writing the Green Lantern Corps movie, but we'll see what happens. But Jeff Johns, I got to meet at San Diego Comic-Con, and it was the weirdest thing. It was just like the most random occurrence of meeting him. And that's kind of how I met a lot of celebrities, to be honest. Like Raul Kali, I met him twice in the streets, which is really weird. I met him twice in the streets. And he's really cool. He's from iZombie. He's a super awesome dude. But anyways, Jeff Johns, I'm at this booth, right? So if you ever go to Comic-Con, the booths are always giving stuff out. They're always giving stuff out. They scan your badge, or they're like, hey, come back at this time. We're going to have a drawing or whatever. And so this one chick was giving out cards or something like that. And she was like, hey, come back around 2. We're doing a drawing for this. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And I kind of forget about it. And I end up going back because I think I'm in the area. And I'm like, oh, crap. I was like, that drawing happened. Let me go see if they did anything. And I didn't find that girl anymore. And I was like, all right, whatever. Or I think maybe she might have been talking to somebody, and I didn't want to interrupt. So I was like, let me just go look at these toys to see if I want. And I'm looking at these toys, and they're like Suicide Squad figures and all this stuff. And I'm just looking at them. And this guy, and it's weird. Have you ever like had a friend of yours, like where you're just totally looking at something, or you're reading a menu or whatever, and your friend just comes like stands right next to you? And like, you know that they're doing it on purpose. Like, they're standing right next to you because they saw you, but you didn't see them. That's exactly how it felt. It felt like Jeff Johns knew I was there and was just going to come stand next to me to see what would happen. And so I'm just there looking at these things, and he stands like real close to me, like right here, also looking at stuff. And I just look to the side, and I'm like, I was like, are you Jeff Johns? And he was like, yeah, man, what's up? And I was like, holy shit, you're fucking awesome. And he was like, thanks man. And I just started telling him, I was like, dude, I love your writing, you're awesome. And I just told him, like, I was like, what? I was like, I'm an aspiring writer, like, you know, I was like, your stuff's really cool, man. Like, what do you, I don't know if I feel like every time I meet a writer, I ask him, like, you know, do you have any suggestions for writers? And it's always like, write every day, man, you know, read books or whatever. And that's kind of how it is. I don't know if I didn't talk to him for that long, but I asked him if I can get a picture, and I think that's what took up most of the conversation. I was like, cool, man, boom. And so I got a photo with Jeff Johns. It used to be on my Instagram. I'll post it again eventually. But yeah, so I got to meet Jeff Johns one day, and that was just really awesome because he was a really chill dude, and it was a cool moment. The second time was I was in the 4th grade, and I got to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he had just won the championship, and you know, he's from Texas, so he was doing a signing in San Antonio, and my mom took us out of school, me and my brother. She took us out of school, and we got to go meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the line was so long. Like, it was extremely long. Because this is in the height of the Attitude Era. You know, Stone Cold is one of the biggest celebrities on the planet at this time, probably. And he's just like, the line is insane. And I was like, we're probably not going to be able to meet him because they're, you know, sometimes they cut off lines. Well, me and my brother, like, really wanted to meet Stone Cold. And my mom was like, just go get in line. And so when you're little kids, you can get away with a lot. Because nobody's majority of people are not going to tell kids that are not theirs something, because then you have to deal with the parents, and a lot of people are like, fuck, I don't want to deal with somebody else's, like some kids, parents, or whatever. So me and my brother cut in front of probably like 100 or 200 people to meet Stone Cold. So we probably like were 30th in line, and we cut in front of like 100 or 200 people because we kind of just blended in, like, oh, this guy's like our dad, or this person's our mom. And so yeah, we ended up sneaking in to meet Stone Cold, and we go in to meet him, and I'm shocked. Like, I'm in shock. Like, I don't even know. And it's funny too, because every time I met wrestlers, I was just like, because I was a huge wrestling fan growing up, I would always get in shock. I met Triple H and Stephanie and all these other people, and I was just like, I was always in shock when I met them. And I was just like, oh my god. Because you're little, you know? But when I met Stone Cold, dude, I was like so scared to meet Stone Cold. I was like, hi. And I was like, you're awesome. I said something stupid, but I think I had him sign like a figure or something. But he was just looking at me like a hard ass, because that's just how Stone Cold looks. Like, you know, he just looks like a hard ass. Like, he'll punch you in your face, like, even if you're a kid. And I was just like so shocked. But I remember him just signing there, and he was like, what's up, man? And just there, and I was just like, oh, thanks. Like, it was just, I was in such a shock to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. And his belt was there, and the belt was like all huge and shit. Like, so those are the two like really happy memories of mine. But both times, it just, because I don't really like get surprised by a lot of stuff, so it's more like when I just chance encounters and meeting people, I get more excited about that kind of stuff. So it's always nice. But yeah, those are two of my happy story time moments. So yeah. What's the wheel story? Those are the two wheel stories. But Juice, if you finish the story, you get a really badass suit. Is it the? I know if you finish 100%, you get like the freaking him where he's just wearing his mask, right? Mankind versus Bray Wyatt, The Fiend. Who you got? I'd go with The Fiend, man. Then again, like OG Mankind was pretty crazy. I don't like that The Fiend has the mandible claw, by the way. Let's see. Do you think? Okay, I already read that. John Constantine versus Doctor Strange. Who wins? I mean, the Time Stone is just a little too OP, you know? Like, does Constantine have something that he could counter the Mind Stone with? What do you think about Batman vs. Ninja Turtles animated movie? I haven't watched it. What is your dream match? Like, match you would want to see? AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels. Or Shawn Michaels versus Adam Cole. But they're all, I mean, I think AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels would be better. Like, if Shawn Michaels was in his prime, AJ Styles was in his prime, I think that would be one of my favorite matches. I still want to see Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega. Do you think a Blue Beetle solo potential in DC? I think it has the potential to be DC Spider-Man. I 100% agree. 100% agree with that statement. Did you find Nova in the final fight in Endgame? I didn't see Nova. Was there a reference to Nova? Doomsday Clock, DCEU? You know what? As much as I would love to see Doomsday Clock in the DCEU, I don't know if, I feel like the political climate right now wouldn't be ready for a story like that. I would love it, but I feel like a lot of people would be like, that's a stupid movie. They're trying to freaking push our political beliefs on us. It's so freaking social justice warrior. And I just don't know if the world could handle a very political superhero movie right now. I would love it, but I just don't think it could do it. How part of the story did you get to? In Doomsday Clock, I'm caught up. But Juice, if you finish the story, I already read that. Saying hi before I sleep. What's up, Mark? Thanks for coming by. Do you remember the Killing Joke? I think Batman broke his code for the first time. So, Dragon, with that. So, Killing Joke, if you guys, I'm pretty sure a lot of people here have read Killing Joke. But Killing Joke was supposed to be a Elseworld story. It got so popular that they made it continuity. So, it being an Elseworld story, you could view it as Batman breaks his code and he kills Joker at the end, because there's 3 panels, he's laughing in one, and then there's no laughter, and then it's just like rain dots, if I remember it correctly. And some people are like, he snapped his neck, because Batman has his hands around Joker's neck at the end. and some people think that he snapped it. And I like that interpretation of it, but obviously, since it's continuity now, you know that doesn't happen. And apparently, I bought the Absolute Killing Joke, and it has... Got the burps. It has Alan Moore scripts in the back. I haven't went to check. Sorry, I got the burps. I haven't went to check, but apparently in those scripts it confirms that Batman doesn't kill the Joker. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. But it also kind of sucks because now that confirms it, you don't have that mythical like sense of like, oh my God, Alan Moore killed the Joker. You know what I mean? What do you think that would have been the Spider-Man 3 story if it was still going on in the MCU? It probably would have been like Civil War, like post-Civil War, when he does reveal his identity then, and everybody kind of goes after him. That's what I think it would have been. What part I meant. Like, what part of it should be in the DCEU, or what part I got up to? Okay, if you were a WWE wrestler tomorrow, what would your stage name and theme song? You know what? I really like... My thing is, I don't know what my stage name would be, but I feel like my theme music, I always love people that have like that like hard boom. Like when their song starts, it's like that hardcore boom. Cause like everybody likes Becky Lynch's like whoa like that, but when Becky Lynch comes out to like run out to the ring, when that song pops, like I'm not like, oh yeah, that's a cool song for her to run out to. I just feel like her running out to save somebody and that song don't go very well together. So I would want a song that's like crazy. Like when Brock Lesnar comes out, right? When you hear that, you're just like, oh shit. So I feel like your intro music has to have that pop, because like if you're coming out to save somebody and the fans hear that pop, they go crazy. And I feel like some other people's like music doesn't do that very well. So I would definitely want a song that has like a crazy pop at the start. But I don't know what my stage name would be, to be honest. Let's see. Have you seen WWE Scooby-Doo movie? I have not. What is up, Juice? What up, Kyle? All right, guys. So let's do about like 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes. We're already at an hour 30, which is crazy. Yeah, 15 more minutes should be good. Let's see. 21 Jump Street Fast and the Furious crossover movie. That would be interesting, but I think the 21 Jump Street Men in Black would have been better. Do you know how I can get comic books if I live outside the US? I don't know. I mean, I don't live outside the US. I mean, you could get a VPN. I mean, if you want to get a VPN, you can bypass your internet service in your country and, you know, get US services that have comic books. So, VPN might be your best bet. You have any suggestions about any other series like Haunting Hour, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, for horror? Man, Tales from the Crypt? Did you ever watch Tales from the Crypt? I mean, Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark are more, like, kiddish, or, like, more, like, young adults. Tales from the Crypt is an old school thing that I grew up on, but that was not for kids. But if you're looking for some horror stuff, that might be it for it too. And some Twilight Zone stuff was kind of creepy at times. Or if you want to watch the old X-Files, Men in Black Ghostbusters crossover movie, that would be kind of weird. Wipes away shield. Hey everyone, what up Artemis? Hey, what up Artemis? How you been? Which tag team in PG era would rather be a part of? What tag team would I want to be a part of in the PG era? I mean, New Day always seems pretty fun. I really like the Revival's gimmick of being the top guys. I wish they were just treated better. But the best... What tag team would I want to be a part of? I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I wish they would have kept them together a lot longer. But when Ziggler came back with McIntyre, I thought that tag team was awesome. Like, they should have kept that tag team for a little bit longer. But I know they wanted McIntyre to become more of a star, which they've totally failed there. But I'd probably go New Day, to be honest. They just always seem like they get to do more fun stuff. Pacific Rim Godzilla crossover movie? I heard that might be a thing, but I doubt that happens. Death by Daylight horror crossover movie? Deceased as an animated movie, what do you think? I would love it. It would be dope. Russo said Nova was in the fight, and a bunch of people speculated it. Well, I mean, the Russos also said a whole bunch of other crap. My thing is if it wasn't in the movie, it doesn't count. That's what I say. If it wasn't in the movie, it doesn't count. Because then you can do that forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can say Ant-Man was in every MCU movie, you just never saw him because he was so little. When Tony died, why did Doctor Strange reverse his body like Thanos did the Vision? Well, I don't know. Because all the stones are technically still there. Yeah. I mean, I guess because what's his name's kind of a dick. But then again, if you use the time stone, it turns back everything. It doesn't just turn back one part of the universe. If I'm not mistaken. Crazy Gaming, the Russo brothers stated in Nova Easter egg wasn't real, just a joke. Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, I meant what part of the story in Spider-Man 4 did you get to? Oh, I got to pass the Miles Morales part, like a little after that. I fought Kingpin, and I fought a bunch of those like guys that have the black and white masks and stuff. I got to play as Mary Jane. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't get too far. I did so many side stories. It was crazy. Have you seen The Boys? I think you would enjoy it. I've seen The Boys. It's awesome. If you could have one person or one thing show up in Crisis Infinite Earths crossover, who or what would you want to see? I would want to see... Oh, I already mentioned it. I want Mark Hamill as the Joker, and I want Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to just have a scene in Crisis on Infinite Earths. But if I could see anything, if anything could happen, I would want the Flash scene to happen, where he disappears in time. How are you doing, Juice? I'm doing pretty good, Kyle. I'm doing pretty good. I had a fantasy draft today for football, and now I'm kind of just chilling, winding down the stream. We've been streaming for about an hour and 30 minutes now. It's going to go about, like I said, like 15 more minutes or so. But yeah, today's been good. Been kind of just chilling. Let's see. What stories do you think the Hulk will have in the future of the MCU? Well, again, not much, to be honest. I mean, they should just get She-Hulk at this point. Just get She-Hulk. Because, I don't know if you guys know about this, but Marvel technically and Disney don't own the rights to Hulk. Apparently, it's like this weird... It's the reason why you've never got a solo Hulk movie. Because I think Paramount or Universal, one of those people own the rights to the Hulk. And they're the ones that... I don't even know if they can do this, to be honest. But... they own the rights to Hulk to make solo movies, but they can't or won't because of Marvel. I don't know. It's weird, but apparently, in the terms of whatever, Marvel cannot make solo Hulk movies because Paramount owns the rights. But I don't know why Paramount or Universal, whoever owns them, doesn't make Hulk movies. It's weird. So, make She-Hulk. Do you watch MMA? I watched the knockouts, but I couldn't tell you like who's a better fighter or whatever. But yeah, I definitely watched the knockouts. The Claymore zigzag finisher was dope. It was awesome. It was awesome. Martian Manhunter versus Spider-Man. No prep time. Who wins? I would think Martian Manhunter, wouldn't you? Like, I mean, he can shapeshift. I mean, does Martian Manhunter have a... And he can read minds. I would go Martian Manhunter. Like, if we're talking no prep time, it's Spider Sense versus reading minds. He could read Spider-Man's mind. And he can shapeshift. I mean, shapeshifters are pretty gangster. And he can shapeshift into huge ass shit. So, I don't know. I'd go Manhunter. Are you gonna finish the game soon? I'd have to play it on my own time. Doctor Strange didn't reverse Tony because he knew there was only one way it could end, since he saw all the different outcomes. I really didn't like playing as Mary Jane and Miles like Spider-Man 4. It just felt repetitive. I agree. I hope you didn't draft Andrew Luck. I didn't, but the guy I'm playing week 1 did. You hide and you run, and you hide and you run. Yeah, it sucked. Are you gonna watch Moon Knight? So I was talking to, well, I think I mentioned it at the start of the stream. Jesus. I think that I only want to see Moon Knight because I want to see how they don't make it feel like Batman. Because it's funny because my friend Clay texted me. He's like, Moon Knight's not Batman. He's totally a Batman ripoff. Like, let's be honest. So I want to see how they try to make Moon Knight not like Batman. But then I brought up the idea that Daredevil's the same thing. I mean, Daredevil, like, there's a reason why people say Red Batman when they talk about Daredevil. But when you watch the Daredevil show, it doesn't feel like a Batman show. So I'm just interested to see what Disney's gonna do with Moon Knight. Because remember, Disney is about selling toys. They're about selling merchandise. So if they're just like, all right, we got this character like Moon Knight, and you know what? He's like Batman, and we're gonna make him be like Batman. And so we want the show to be like Batman. And if they can make Moon Knight really cool and seem like a Batman character, then they probably would do that. So they can sell the toys. You know, it's a smart promotional tactic. But will I watch Moon Knight? Yes, but I won't buy Disney Plus. So I'm gonna have to borrow somebody's Disney Plus to watch it. Juice, you should play the story. The Doc OC fight at the end was very good. Will you be streaming any of the Arkham games soon, since this year is the 10th anniversary of Arkham Asylum? That would be kind of cool. I'd have to see if my stream would be down. But I highly suggest you guys go over and subscribe to Twitch. We stream every Friday. You don't have to subscribe on Twitch. Go follow, so you know when we're streaming, so you can come hang out. But the thing is, when I do story games, my audience kind of dies out, which is kind of cheap. But it happens. Not everybody wants to see you play a story game. So I don't know. I feel like if I do the Batman games, people might go away. So we'll see. Blade in the MCU, it's been confirmed, but what do you think about it? I don't know, to be honest. I was never really a big Blade fan, which is funny because Triple H is in the third one, and so is Ryan Reynolds, and so is what's her face, Jessica Biel. But I was never a big fan of Blade, so I really don't have an opinion on it. Do you watch Black Mirror, or have you watched Black Mirror? I have not. I heard it's great, but I haven't watched it. Sting versus Undertaker in their prime, who do you think would win? Oh man, I don't know. In their primes, I think that would have been a fantastic freaking match. I just don't think you can count out the Undertaker, man. Like, the Undertaker, I think, has the best gimmick of all time. Of all time. I don't think there's a better gimmick than the Undertaker. Because even now, when he's still fighting, when he shouldn't be fighting anymore, when you hear the dong, you know, as they say, it still gets you, man. You're just like, oh shit, the Undertaker. What I would love is if the Undertaker were to come out, not fight anymore, right? Undertaker comes out and he basically says it's time for the dead man to go to rest. He was all, but somebody needs to take over the mantle and bring out a new star. Like, make a new star out of the Undertakers. Like, make him a Undertaker minion or something. Or just say, like, he's starting a new faction that are, you know, certain people in the darkness. And, fuck, make it Aleister Black. Although Aleister Black's pretty badass on his own. But it would be cool if, like, you know, Undertaker just did something like that. That's just my opinion. I think that'd be kind of cool. But then some people are like, no, some people don't need that push or blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Juice, they confirmed Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk Disney Plus shows at Disney Expo. Okay, yeah. I didn't know it was She-Hulk. But yeah, they should just go with her. Get caught up. I'm not going to watch all those shows. Did you hear about Kendrick Lamar being an antagonist in Black Panther 2? Are you serious? That would be terrible. You need Disney Plus, Juice? I got you. I don't have to buy Disney Plus. Just go on the websites with pirated shows. I'm gonna have to go. See ya. Peace out, Martin. Thanks for coming by. Let's see. How many girls do you think Vince McMahon slept with on the roster? I don't know, man. There have been some horror stories about that. I mean, not about that necessarily, but I wouldn't be surprised. Probably a lot. Hulk Agents of Smash movie. Imagine if the Nightwing movie was made in the style of Winter Soldier with Red Hood as the villain. That would be pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. That would be pretty awesome. Alright, guys, let's get the last few questions in here. It's been cool hanging out with you guys. But we're going to go ahead and wind this stream down. It's been a really good time. But any last-minute questions you guys got, feel free to send them in. Also, shout out to King. Shout out, to everybody that donated Super Chats. Ryder, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the Super Chats, guys, helping out the channel. You guys are dope. But yeah, if we don't have any last questions, fave office character. Michael, probably. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for us. Okay, what are some updates coming to the channel? Okay, yeah, we could definitely talk about that. Final question: what would your dream Batman movie be? My dream Batman movie would be an original story that's not copying or taking the title from another movie, and it would be a Batman movie where Batman is in costume like 80% of the movie. Alright, mute. I'm going to allow that, but it's kind of weird. Best female ass in comics. I don't know. It depends on who's drawing them. Do you think John Diggle will be Green Lantern in the crossover? He should be. But as for the updates to the channel, Derek, let's see. So what's happening right now is, like I mentioned, we're over here. If you haven't went and subscribed to freaking Batman News Weekly, you can listen to it on Spotify, and you can go download an app called Anchor, and you can find Batman News Weekly on there, and show it some love, favorite it, give it a thumbs up. Even if you're listening on Spotify, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out, so we can get noticed a little bit more, and people can just type it in and it'll show up faster. The plan is to upload the Batman News Weekly podcast every Friday. So comics come out on Wednesdays and stuff. I will be more than likely recording on Wednesdays, and any other stuff coming out from like Wednesday to Wednesday is probably when I'll be recording the Batman News Weekly and just talking about that kind of stuff on there. So if I watch a show or if I do whatever, I'll probably be talking about it on there. So a lot of the random little stuff that I can't make videos about, I'll be talking about it on Batman News Weekly podcast. So definitely go subscribe to the podcast. I plan on putting it out every Friday. As for the channel, I want to start doing the top 10s and more research style videos. But another reason why the Batman News Weekly podcast is a thing is so you guys have some form of content to keep you up to date. If I can't make videos about it, because you got to remember, I got to film the video, then I got to edit the video, and then I got to upload the video. It's a big process, and I don't always have the time. Whereas I can record something like this in an hour, less than an hour, and put it out there just to upload for you guys. There's no editing involved. There's a little bit of editing, not a lot, not like a video would be. So it's just easier for me to produce, and it's an easier way to give you guys a lot of info in one small package. But the research videos and stuff like that take a little bit more time because I gotta research. I don't want to give you guys bullshit information. That's not somebody I've ever wanted to be. I've made mistakes in the past, obviously, but I've definitely tried to correct them if I did make mistakes. And so when I do the research videos, if I'm like doing something like Batman's strongest villain or Batman's weakest villain, or 10 weird Batman villains you've never heard of, something like that, I want to make sure I'm giving you solid information in those videos so you can always want to watch them. You know what I mean? It won't just be like what you watch it once and you're just like, all right, I'm done, I never want to see that again. I'm kind of hoping to make the videos interesting enough to where you'll want to watch them multiple times because they're that good, or because there was good information in there that you can tell somebody else, be like, oh man, check out Juice's video, like it was really good about Poison Ivy, or it was really good about Catwoman, or whatever. So it's just trying to find the time to do a lot of that stuff. So that's kind of what's happening with the channel. I would love to keep putting up random videos, but right now the channel, the views are just dying and dying and dying. We're not gaining any subs. So the channel's, you can consider it a dead channel. I mean, I'm not going to stop uploading videos, but I need to make better videos that hopefully get more like traction and more views, and something that YouTube wants to promote. And I think those more research heavy videos are the ones that they'd rather promote, opposed to like, oh, Robert Pattinson's Batman. So yeah, that's kind of where the channel's at right now. But yeah, all right, so what else we got? Blade Twilight crossover for closure. Favorite MCU movie? Winter Soldier. Let's see. Who draws the sexiest women? Jim Lee or Clayman? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. trailer released a year before it releases. Really? New Mutants trailer 3 years and counting. I don't think that movie's ever gonna come out. I heard Kane and Undertaker were brothers and Paul Bearer was their father. That was the storyline back in the day. Flash Buddy. One last question. Andros from PR in Space or Leo from Lost Galaxy? Who's better, Red Ranger? I didn't watch any of those. So I don't know. Flash to bring you back to life. I'm not gonna cover the Flash anymore. I'm not gonna cover shows because like then I'm just doing it to try to get views and like I want views to build the channel up, but it's not something I care about. Always be a loyal, my dude. Ain't going nowhere. I appreciate it. I appreciate it of your channel. Leo's better, Red Ranger. All right, guys, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again. Follow the podcast. If you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to the channel. And, you know, follow the Twitch channel if you guys want to come hang out with us when we're playing some video games on Friday nights. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again. Those of you that donated to the Super Chat, I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I always, you know, just supporting the channel means a lot. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, I am your host, JuiceBox. Your host, JuiceBox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Stop the daily dose of juice. See you guys next time.